How's it going? Welcome to my video. Alright guys, just want to give you guys a fix on an issue that I had a couple days ago on my car. Alright, so basically it's like this. I used the car pretty much all day. There was no issues with it. Haven't had any issues with the car for a long while. For a long while means maybe like 6-7 months. Didn't do anything with it. It was running fine. No problems whatsoever. Was using it the whole entire day. It was kind of hot out, but not like the hottest day of the year, but it was pretty hot and humid out. So basically I used the car the whole entire day. Drove around, got stuff, ate, shopping, etc., the usual works. So basically, the last thing I did today was I went to Petco to get a couple of hamsters. Parked my car, went in, looked at a bunch of stuff, fishes and stuff like that. Spent about an hour there. Got 2 hamsters, came out, got into the car, and then tried starting it, and it would crank, but it wouldn't start. Tried a couple of times, it would crank, it wouldn't start, crank, it wouldn't start. So I'm like, all right, at that point, got a little bit worried. Got 2 hamsters out, it's like 95 degrees, very, very sunny, very, very hot, very, very warm, and I was like, all right, let me try a couple of things. I'm gonna press the gas pedal a couple of times, and then try to crank it. Maybe it was some glitch or something like that. Nope, didn't work. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's the shifter. I'm gonna shift it up and down. Shift it up and down. See, maybe it didn't like catch the park or whatever. Shift it, kept on bumping it up. Try to start. Nope, didn't work. So at that point, I was like, let me just, try to put it in neutral or whatever and try. Nope, didn't work. All right, so, all the normal options that you would think you would do, I tried, and none of those things actually got the car to start. And so basically what I did afterwards is, I got 2 hamsters in my car. It's a hot day. I have no AC. So I'm gonna see if I could try to do something, quick fixes. Turn the lights on, and went out and try to see, checked out the beam, see if it was bright or not. Maybe it's a battery issue. Maybe it's something I could fix real fast. And the beams were pretty bright, so I couldn't figure out whether it was the beams or not, whether it was the battery or not. So I went back into my car. I'm like, I got 2 hamsters. And let me just, at that point, I brought the hamsters back into Petco, told them about the situation, had them kept it for me. So they kept it for me, so that I could resolve this issue, and then So anyway, I was like, maybe it's the battery. Maybe it's the battery because like I said, about 6 months ago, I had a bit of a battery issue. Car had issues starting. It was a slow crank, but unlike this one, it was like very strong crank. I'm having like strong, like this issue was like very, very strong cranks. The cranks are very, very strong. I could hear, the starter motor running. It was very, very, very strong. So obviously, if you guys don't know anything about cars, obviously it's not the starter, because if you could hear a crank, it's the starter that's working. Obviously, it's not the starter. So anyway, I was like, all right, let me check out the battery. Right, so I got to the battery, I popped it out, and popped off. I checked out the battery and make sure the terminals were clean. Now I forgot. I don't think I actually cleaned the terminals when I changed out the battery 6 months ago. So I was like, all right. So the battery was, there was some corrosion on the battery. So I got a bunch of paper towels, and then I got Coke that I got from McDonald's that I didn't drink all the way. And I poured the Coke a little bit of the Coke on the terminals just to have it fizz. and I took some paper towels and I cleaned off the terminals. And then I put it back on. Now, they weren't like super tight to begin with, but they were tight enough that I could wiggle it off. So if it were tight enough that I could wiggle it off means that, you know, it was on there pretty good. Anyway, I cleaned it off pretty good, and try to start it again. It would crank, and then crank. Did it a couple of times. All right, at that point, I kind of knew that the battery wasn't the issue, you know. So, but anyway, I did get about 6 months ago. I did get a NOCO booster pack to jump the battery just in case I had issues again, and haven't used it since. It was charged up to 100%. Took it out, and it was like at 75%. 75%. So anyway, regardless, I popped it on, and then I tried to start the car, and what do you know? What do you know, guys? Take a guess what happened. Nope, it didn't start. It didn't start. Same thing, same situation. It would crank. So it helped me resolve. An issue. Just as far as diagnosing, you know, I knew it wasn't a battery. So I knew it wasn't a battery. It wasn't the starter. Obviously, you know, I'm like checking stuff off as I go along the way. And like, if you guys are in this situation, you guys just check stuff off. You know, you can figure this out on your own. You can just check stuff off, which I'm doing. I'm checking stuff off. So not any of those stuff, not the terminals either. So the obvious things. But I was looking at the negative also, seeing as how I wasn't able to resolve it through maybe hoping it was the battery, but I was looking at a negative terminal. Negative terminal, if you guys don't know, if you guys are new to this, is the main ground wire. The main ground wire needs to be connected. It needs to be connected to the frame of the car, a truck, or any vehicle, for the electricity to flow right. And I made sure to check it out just to make sure that the cable was clean, the connection was clean and it was connected and wasn't loose or anything like that, and it wasn't loose or any of that stuff. So at that point, I could rule out the negative cable. So all those things I could rule out at this point: starter, battery, the terminals being corroded or loose, the ground wire. All these things are important, are integral to the car starting. Now, outside of that, those are pretty much simple. You know, you could clearly figure out whether any of those are the issue. But then, you know, after that, I was going through the whole range of stuff that could be causing this issue that you might not be able to test it if you didn't have special equipment, which is like stuff that could cause a crank no start, be a crank, you know, could be a bunch of things. So I'm gonna just roll off a bunch of things to you that was going through my head at the moment. All right, it could be mass airflow sensor, throttle position sensor, the camshaft position sensor, the crankshaft position sensor, a bunch of stuff that has sensors to it, issues with the ECM, etc., etc. Okay, so all those things could cause this particular issue. So anyway, let me just hurry this up for you guys. So basically, I was thinking to myself, could any of those things be the cause of this issue? And it occurred to me that probably not. You guys want to know why probably not? Let me show you guys something, right? The check engine light. All right, every single one of those have a sensor, and if any of those issues was the cause of my car's issue, it would cause the check engine light to come on. Now, thinking back on that, I probably should have checked that, make sure that there was no check engine light. If I had a code reader, I would have plugged it in and made sure that there was no check engine light for that to rule it out 100%. But since I took the terminals off to clean it, it would have cleared the codes. But I know that there was no check engine light when I left the car like an hour or so ago. No check engine light. I haven't had check engine light on this car forever. So at that point, 99%, I could rule out everything that I just listed. Mass airflow, camshaft, crankshaft, throttle position sensor, all those things that have a sensor to it that could actually cause the issue. So I could just rule all those things out because of that deduction. But I couldn't rule out that the computer was having issues. So just to figure that out, I had an OBD2 that somebody suggested I get. I got from Amazon, and I'll probably post the links below. But I got one from Amazon, and anyway, I plugged it in, and I plugged it in not because I was thinking that maybe one of those sensors caused it. I was plugging it in just to make sure that the computer wasn't the issue, because sometimes if the car's ECM or ECU, or if the car's computer has issues with connecting to the car, it will cause a crank start issue. So I plugged it in, made sure that it scanned all the way. Now, if it scanned all the way through, gave me a reading, I know that the computer's connected, it's okay. If it didn't scan all the way through, it scanned halfway, then I knew that there was some issues with the car's computer. So I plugged it in, it scanned all the way through, read everything out, gave me a reading, everything. So at that point, I knew that I knew that the computer was fine. All right. So just to cut this short, I'm gonna move on to the next thing that could be causing it. All right. So I could essentially rule out all those things, but then I thought to myself, all right, we're just gonna go through a bunch of other stuff, and a bunch of other things that could be causing this could probably be the fuel filter, the fuel pump not working or malfunctioning, etc., clogged gas, fuel injectors, all that stuff. So I was thinking to myself, okay, normally I would do a fuel pump test where I would try to listen to the fuel pump whizzing, working, priming, etc. Normally, if I had two people with me, one standing right next to the gas cap and putting the ear to the gas cap, and then me just turning the car to the on position. Normally, you turn it to the on position, you could hear, if you were close enough to the fuel pump, you could hear the fuel pump priming, which is like a motorized whizzing sound where it just, a little fuel pump just priming the lines. Priming the lines, the fuel to the engine. And now, so basically, it was me and technically the two hamsters, but it was just me. So I got back in my car. I turned off everything, the blow motor, the radio, and all that stuff. It's very hot. It was very, very hot that day. Very, very, very hot. Very, very, very hot. Anyway, got back in my car, rolled up all the windows, and then I turned it to on position a couple of times. Sat in my car, and in the heat, tried to listen to the sound, see if I could hear anything, like see if I could hear a whizzing sound, like zzz, zzz. Or zzz, like a kind of buzzing sound. All right, so try to hear some kind of buzzing sound, zzz, something like that. Right? It's a low buzzing sound from the motor. See if I could hear it. And guess what, guys? Guess what? Unfortunately, I couldn't pick up anything. Fortunately, I could not pick up anything. So that was a bummer. That was a bummer for me. I couldn't pick up anything. So I was like, okay. All right. So since we couldn't figure anything out through that, we are going to go to and check out the fuses and the relays. All right. So just to hurry this up along, guys. Fuses and relays. So I'm checking out the fuses and relays. I'm checking out the fuses. All right, got to the fuses, checked out the fuses, and I had a little flashlight just to, check out the fuses, made sure that there was no browning on top, like none of the fuses were blown or burnt or whatever. And I was looking at the fuses, try to see if I could smell any kind of burnt smell, and I could not smell anything that was burnt. Wasn't able to smell any kind of burnt smell. Looked at all the fuses. They looked all right to me. All right. Didn't see a problem with any of the fuses. They looked all right to me. So I was thinking to myself, all right. Did not have a fuse tester with me. Was not able to I was able to see. I mean, I was very, very sure, 90% sure that there was no issues with the fuses because they didn't look like they were burnt to me, through eyesight. So anyway, I moved to the relays and looked at the relays, looked at all the relays. Well, I didn't look at the relays, but I focused specifically on the fuel pump relay. I was like, there's a chance it could be the fuel pump relay that went bad. And now normally you would be able to test that out if you had some kind of, actually you could do that with a starter, but you can't really do that with a fuel pump relay because you still have to listen to the fuel pump. The only way to check out if the fuel pump was working is if you listen to it, or you could use starter fluid. I didn't have starter fluid. So basically, let me just cut this short, guys. Let me just cut this short. All right, so basically what I did was I looked for another relay. I checked out where the fuel pump relay was. I took it out. I took some Coke, poured it on a tissue, cleaned it out, popped it back in, tried to start it. It didn't start. It cranked the same way it was. It cranked. So I was looking for another relay, and then I swapped it. I forget what that relay was connected to, what component car it was for, but I swapped it. And then I got back into my car, and I was like, "Oh man, if this doesn't work, I'm gonna get my car towed." And I was thinking I didn't think it was gonna work, but guess what? I turned it on, and what do you guys think happened, guys? What do you guys think happened? I turned it on, and went, bam, guys, it worked. Cranked. It cranked up. It cranked up, and it started, and it ran, and it ran. It started, and it ran, guys. So at that point, I knew if this happened to you guys, where you guys swap up the relay, and it started, 100% that the relay was the issue. Anyway, the relay was the issue. So I drove my car. Got the two hamsters back. Turned the AC on. Hot day, sweating like crazy. My t-shirt was drenched in sweat, muggy, and happy ending, guys. It was a very, very, it was a great ending because I went to AutoZone. Definitely got another relay for like $15. Popped it back in. I literally drove there with it swapped out, and then obviously I took the bad relay from whatever component that was, put the good relay in the fuel pump, and swapped that other relay out, and have been working ever since. It's been working ever since. So I hope this story wasn't too long. Just to cut it short for you guys. Again, I'm sure you guys want to get back to diagnosing your car after watching this video, and hopefully this has helped you guys out as far as figuring what the issue is with your vehicle. But in any case, there's a comment section. Please leave a comment in the comment section. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. All that good stuff, guys. I hope you guys have a fix as easy as the one that I had on mine, guys. All right, take care.